Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Weekly Ring for Friday the 13th of October. I am your host, Ebony Duell. I hope you had a restful fall break and a safe and exciting GHO. We have some wonderful events coming up for the second half of October, and I'm here to tell you all about them. Fall Open House is tomorrow. The day starts in the chapel at 9 a.m., and there will be events until 2 p.m. If you know any prospective Bennett Bells, send them out tomorrow. Students will tour the campus and be able to apply on site for admission, learn about financial aid, explore new majors, and attend singing auditions. Bennett students attended the first annual Al Johnson Lecture and Reception at A&T on Tuesday. Destiny was on hand to talk to the first ever Al Johnson Scholarship winner.
This is definitely an honor. Just from hearing, his background, his accolades, his accomplishments, I can definitely say that from here on out, I have more of a duty, a journey throughout the journalism field, more than I ever had before. And I'm definitely humble and more than grateful for such an opportunity. It will definitely help me throughout the rest of my college tenure.
I heard that you're a sophomore. You had your first internship at Fox News in Washington, D.C. How was that for you?
Oh, wow. That was a big accomplishment. Definitely in one summer I learned, the ins and outs of the business, and I definitely learned, what I want to do in this business, to be exact. It's definitely something that I feel as though has made, a big impact on my life and just any decisions I make from here on out. And of course, I'm grateful for that opportunity as well.
Would you like a scholarship? Well, go on your email right after this show, search Bennett College Info, and there will be information about a scholarship that you could win. Wednesday, come out to the Little Theater at 6:30 for a special screening of the new CBS show, S.W.A.T, starring Shamar Moore. After the show, we will have a forum to discuss police and community relations. While at the NABJ convention, Azura Bateman got a chance to sit down with Shamar Moore and executive producer Aaron Rashawn Thomas to get the scoop on the new CBS series.
She was caught sex on citizen flag down.
My daddy was always saying to me, if you want things to change, get out there and be the change.
If anyone can bridge the gap between that community and the police, it's you.
The city where I fell to you.
You and me, we got this. Together.
The city where I fell to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is S.W.A.T. Bateman. I'm here with screenwriter and producer Aaron Rashawn Thomas and actor Shamar Moore. How you fellas doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I've been a big fan of yours. My mom used to have me watching Young and the Restless. What's it like?
Malcolm Winters. Don't talk Malcolm on TV.
So, what's it like for you? Years later, going back. Do you ever go back and watch yourself just for fun?
I stay away from the first 2 years of my career. I do. I got them on VHS tape. That's how old I am. VHS. But yeah, first 2 years and a lot of my Soul Train days, I'm like, ooh, but you know what? I don't believe in regrets, and you got to start somewhere. But I sometimes I sit back and I'll go back, but I can't watch the first 2 years. I couldn't stand still. I kept slapping my legs. I was trying to figure it out, and then I kind of just took a breath and I started to get it. So, but I do, I don't watch myself a lot. I don't, I'll watch myself in the process. Like now with S.W.A.T, like I want to watch myself to learn, not to go, ooh, look at me, I'm on TV. I've been doing this long enough to know what I look like and all that, but I want to make sure that I'm being authentic to the stories. But 24 years in the game, I've grown so much, I've learned so much, and it's a really exciting time for me because I could say, well, why didn't I get S.W.A.T 10 years ago? I was ready to be a badass and a superhero back then. And I just believe if you have faith, if you have patience, if you always believe, and it's tough sometimes, but you got to find that inner strength. Everything I've done in my personal life, everything I've done in my career life, all the characters I've played, from Malcolm Winters to Derek Morgan on Criminal Minds to Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and whatever it's been in my journey has all led to this perfect storm because I'm in the right perfect possible place at the right perfect possible time to take on Daniel Hondo Harrelson, and S.W.A.T. So this is just the next chapter of my career, and I'm really excited about what's happening.
So for you, Mr. Thomas, soul food, and now doing your own show. How was it? Is it do you look back and see the differences in the original screenwrites that you did, and what's your process for that?
Well, first shout out to Bennett College and Morehouse, the house. My experience actually coming from Morehouse, a lot of it started there. I went there because Spike Lee went there, and I went there because Trey Styles, a character from Boys in the Hood, went there, at the end of that movie. My experience, my life was very much similar to the life of that character that Cuba Gooding Jr. played in that film. The idea has always been for me is that I knew that Hollywood obviously is a very competitive and challenging path, but I also knew I had grown up in an environment with two parents that were always very supportive, and I always knew, you put your mind to it, you're persistent, you put in the work, you do the homework, you'll be able to accomplish anything that you want. I always truly believed that. I still truly believe that. And so I was fortunate enough at an early stage in my career and arriving in Hollywood where, I was able to be around not only successful people, but also successful people that understood my path, my point of view. I was an intern at Soul Food, the series, very early on. I was a writer's assistant there. I worked for talented writers like Felicia Henderson and Mara Baraka Kill, and Salim Akil, and Kenya Barris, who now has created Blackish. There's probably 5 or 6 writers from that early stage of Soul Food now who are all off doing their own shows, including myself. So when I look at that period, even though it was early and I was raw myself, I look at it as an invaluable foundation that cemented for me that, yes, not only is your voice valuable and powerful, but also your voice is viable in a business sense. And so I still take that to heart to this day. That's one of the things that, definitely allowed myself and others to put this project together and make S.W.A.T.
Mr. Moore, for a good bulk of your career, you've played a law enforcement role. If you weren't an actor, would you consider being in law enforcement?
Not initially back in the getting into the game, but now that I've met so many law enforcement officials, I don't know if I'd want to do it for a living, but I have so much profound respect for what they're doing. But what I do want to do, that Aaron has done, is I want to go out on these missions. Like we've been invited to go and tag along with SWAT and LAPD and go out, on cases and things. And they're not going to give us guns and things like that, but we get to literally be in the cars and shadow them. I haven't done that quite yet, but I just have so much respect for what they choose to do for the sake of fighting for the good and having to deal with so much unpredictable, dark, and never knowing. Every day you just don't know, and the families having to accept that, and wondering if he or she is going to come home. And that's a big risk. It's like going into the military. It's like there's the thing that drives these people, and I have to show the utmost respect for that. But I'm having a lot of fun learning all the technical aspects. I'm having a lot of fun playing pretend G.I. Joe and making it as real as I can. I'm a badass from action to cut, and then I go home to my 2 bulldogs and my little backyard boogie. So yeah, I'm good with just playing pretend, but doing right by these cats. If I'm gonna be 100, I'm gonna be 100.
I know you said that there will be some topical, things in there, but will you also draw from, personal experiences from your life?
Always. A good storyteller, and it's not just me. We have a very talented writing staff. I'm working with a very talented mentor for me, which is Sean Ryan. Who always comes at things from a very character grounded point of view. And it's just tremendously supportive and knowledgeable. But we have a staff of 9 writers, and each one of those writers brings a different perspective to the table. We have a very diverse staff. We have 4 women writers. We have 5 writers of color on that staff. Everyone kind of has their own walk of life. Single people, married people, young people, middle-aged people. Atheists, Christians, Muslims, we're So when we come into the room, you know, a good storyteller is always going to be able to pull from a grounded place of what is this story about and why do I want to tell it? And we wouldn't have it any other way on S.W.A.T. We want people, collaborators, actors, musicians, you know, writers, producers who are always going to be able to pull from things that they care about and are passionate about. And that's the culture we've set up.
You know, from personal experiences from your life to now, are you thankful for those experiences that have now, you know, put you in a position to be able to tell a different story?
Absolutely. You know, I feel as though the experience that I've gone through has been a blessing, absolutely a blessing. I don't look at any challenges or obstacles as hindrances. I look at them as learning lessons, learning opportunities. And so everything that I am is only because of what I've been and where I've been and who I've been around and who I've been supported by. I wouldn't have it any other way. And definitely everything that I was in growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up with the friends that I had, some who are still here, some who never made it. I think about them daily. And we're breaking stories right now for Hondo, a few of them based on real life situations that myself or other writers went through, one or two, you know, featuring situations with friends or old friends that I may have had that may or may not be here. So everything that I've been definitely informs what I work on. And like I said, you know, I think any good storyteller operates pretty much the same way. What is this story about and why do I want to tell it? And we wouldn't have it any other way on S.W.A.T. We want people, collaborators, actors, musicians, you know, writers, producers who are always going to be able to pull from things that they care about and are passionate about. And that's the culture we've set up.
Well, thank you, Phyllis, for your time. Be sure to tune into S.W.A.T. November 2nd, 2017 on CBS.
That's all the time we have for today, but we have one more announcement. October 31st, Cone Hall will reopen with its new RD, Michael Myers. Make sure you stop by to meet him after dark. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Weekly Ring. We'll see you this week at all the events. Contact us at Bell Media Group or ask me in person if you see me around campus to be a part of the show.